Hi everyone and welcome back to some Path of Exile. So, yeah, I never learn, do I? I pushed way too far for the gear I currently have. However, it has worked out, right? So, yeah, I'm sitting at 100 out of 100 completion. I have completed every map that is not a unique map, and we can still gain 6 Atlas skill points from unique maps. However, they haven't dropped, right? So, that has been done. We've managed to get 2 Voidstones, right? And one of them is the Eldritch one, so both of the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds have been defeated once. And then we also have defeated all these 3 originator bosses, right? So yeah, these 2 Voidstones are in my possession. I worked towards the Shaper, so we have all the Shaper Guardians done. And I'm missing maps for the Elder Guardians currently, so that will be my next Voidstone. And then at some point I will have to go and try to take down the Maven, right? Well, I will cross that bridge when it occurs, right? There's no need to go and rush this. Yeah, so currently I'm on level 90, which is quite nice. I like where I'm at, right? Defenses, we are at 76 LE res at the moment, 22 chaos res. That is very low, right? 38 block, 73 spell block. There is room to improve that, right? We are freeze immune, we are shock immune, and we have an ignite duration on self reduction of 110%. So basically in ignite immune as well. So this is where a couple of changes come into play, and I changed the build up a little bit over the course of yesterday and today, where I was pushing into red maps, getting my gear somewhat up to speed, but as I said, I'm way far out on gear. Like, it's not good. Please keep that in mind. I do not advise to push that hard with this build, because you will just fall over continuously, right? It just, you accumulate a lot of deaths, which slow your leveling pace. So rather stay a little bit in lower maps. Maybe do it like I did last time, where I just did tier 1, then tier 2, then tier 3, right? This time I just rushed these 2 quadrants, basically, to get up to tier 14s rather quickly. So, passive skill tree-wise, you can see we have done the respec, right, where we go through the int nodes instead of the spell damage here. That's a-okay. We spec out of LE Overload and into some crit nodes, the power charge nodes, and we just received a little message. Increased fire damage. I don't know. Let's find out. So, other than that, I think almost everything is as I've stated. Like, I did allocate Bitter Frost, and it's very nice, cool stuff. Ah, sick. Just got a 200 chaos drop. Awesome. So yeah, Bitter Frost is actually cool. Cannot deal non-cold damage, doesn't doesn't actually mean bad things for us, because it's the only added damage that we have, right? So one thing that is quite interesting is, if we take a look at my wand, right? The Omen wand, I was looking out for an Opal wand, and then I realized, wait, Opal wands no longer have an implicit of flat cold. They are also spell damage. So I'm guessing, right? Yes, you buffed the spells, GGG, but you actually nerfed our wands. And it just... why? My guess is that other builds would be overperforming quite a bit, but like, I hope that this would be a nice buff for us, right? And now Yeah, we are kind of looking at a similar damage output than we were before, which is a little bit disappointing. Now, keep in mind, I'm missing +1 on the wand, I'm missing +1 on the shield, I'm missing +1 on the amulet, right? So 3 gem levels are just not yet here. I'm also on level 19, basically, right? And that's just how it is at the moment. The 5 projectiles, though, are very, very cool. Voice. Yeah, the 5 projectiles are really cool. That works, and I opted for crit strikes and crit strike damage supports to adjust my crit, right? Alrighty. So, we have our 3 jewel sockets, and these are... God damn it. And these are filled with a couple of cool things, right? We have 2% block to block spell damage while holding a shield. We have some crit chance on here, and then increased crit with cold skills, and a little bit of lightning res. That is a decent jewel to have. It could be better, yes, but for League Start, I'll take it. Next one, this one is just crit multi with cold skills and some increased life. Strength can be helpful, and then we don't need dot. The last one I got is the 35% reduced ignite duration with some increased life and some increased global critical strike chance. Pretty nice, and that opted me out of the reduced mana cost nodes over here because I realized, hey, I don't actually need them at the moment, right? Because I'm not running Determination, which I should at some point, but I'm still running Tempest Shield to get my spell block chance, right? So I went, hey, you know what? Let's opt into the reduced ignite duration over here, and then grab this one as well to get +1 all maximum LE resistances, and that's how we end up on our 76%. Now, the next level will probably just be poured into Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on you, and then I really need to revise my gear, right? Other than that, also, this cluster has been moved over, right? So you need 1 more point for this cluster, because this is now here. And I opted for the increased charge duration mod, because on the chess piece, I rolled the implicit to gain a frenzy charge every 14 seconds. And in combination with that mastery, once... How long does it take? It's 14 seconds, right? Yeah. So when 72 seconds are done, we are sitting on 3 frenzy charges at the moment. I figured I might go for endurance charges, but I landed on frenzy charges and thought, you know what, we will take that. We're okay. This is still the very old 6 link, right? This is item level 60, so we definitely need a new 6 link at some point. We have an okay helmet with a decent amount of armor. The implicits here I chose were cast speed and cold pen. That works out fairly nicely. The gloves, we have unnerve and cold exposure on hit. I definitely need to get new gloves at some point as well. The boots, we have action speed and then just increased armor from helmets and gloves. Now, we don't have armor on gloves, so it is what it is. Just a 2-stone ring with some life and resistances, right? And then another life resistance ring right here. And what else? Yes, the amulet has the Anoint. We have Ash, Frost, and Storm on here right now, just for the increased effect of non-damaging ailments and some LE damage. We have max life, some resistance, and I crafted cast speed on there and called it good. The one thing I have been doing with the league mechanic, right? I did do like 2 voyages right now. Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3, if you count the tutorial one, and I crafted myself a Stygian Wise with it. So that has been really cool. Basically, I did transmute the max life on there, then I augmented the fire res, I regaled the max mana, and then I just exalted, and we got... Well, I just YOLO exalted, basically, outside of the league. And we got some stun and block recovery, some flask mana recovery rate, which not important, and then we crafted cold and chaos res on there. However, we have a hypnotic eye jewel. Hey, look, flat cold damage to spells, some max life, and then 8% chance to gain phasing for 4 seconds on kill, it's just so nice during mapping. I highly recommend a Stygian Wise for everybody with a jewel like that. For the flasks, they are all automated right now, so we have a Quicksilver with movement speed. I need to re-roll those, right? The implicits need to be gain a charge when you do crit. On the Diamond Flask, we have even more increased crit. On the Granite, we have increased armor and then reduced effect of curses on the Basalt Flask. And these are all just used when the charges are full, right? And that works out fairly nicely. Okay, that was a lot of talk, and we have more changes to go over. I switched over to Molten Shell in my automation setup. I'm still not 100% convinced that that is worth yet. Once we get a new body armor and new gloves, we might have enough armor to where Molten Shell is massively better, but at the moment Immortal Call would still take the lead. It's okay though. Now on the boots, you can see we have Wintertide brand in here with power charge on crit. We no longer need Frostbomb because we do have the exposure on hit, right? And I freed up another socket, so now we have Mark on hit support linked to Assassin's Mark. So this is very, very cool because if you have the Assassin's Mark on the boss, you have base crit chance and you have bonus crit multi. Very cool, right? This is really nice. And yeah, I mean, technically it's less damage later on when you are crit capped, but until you are crit capped, it feels nice, right? Especially against the bosses. So, there is one quest step that demands an astrolabe in each quadrant to be done, right? The first one I've done down here. It was one of these ones, the fungal ones, and it netted me a nice Divine Orb, which is sweet. We have a little bit of Chaos on the side as well, so we can now start upgrading, right? I just need to figure out what I want to upgrade next. But yeah, let's just run a map together and see how this goes. Up here, everything will be actually tier 16, right? So, you know what? Let's do factory. We have red altars on there as well. On the Pantheon, I need to capture Shock and Horror. I just noticed that, but also Soul of Abarath. I have upgraded that, right? This is unaffected by Burning Ground, and more importantly, you don't need an upgrade for this. Just 60% less duration of Ignite, right? This is how we reach the more than 100% reduced Ignite duration on you that we pointed out in the beginning. Alrighty, let's get going. So now we are just going to cast our Freezing Calls, right? Our flasks are automated, we don't need to worry about that. And as you can see, this works how it did, right? You just cast. With the additional projectiles, you actually have quite a decent AoE, which we always had good clear, right? But I will not complain about better clear, right? And as you can see here, Spell Echo doing its thing, which means you are locked for like roughly a second, a little bit less maybe. So you are locked in place with that. That's just how it is, right? So, there's nothing on there that I actually want. Let's just continue. There we go. We did proc our phasing on kill from our jewel, right? I'm so not used to not have my minimap or my map overlaid, sorry. So that's why I'm struggling. Hey, look, we got the energy shield shrine. Awesome. That's okay, we can take that. And once the gems are leveled up, Mark on Hit and the Assassin's Mark, I still think, if I remember correctly, it would be more damage the old way with a self-casted curse. However, that's okay. There we go. The Mammoth ring out of that. Very good. And that's basically how the maps go, right? Boss, we can put down our Wintertide brands as well as our Val Cold Snap, and we just chain freeze the boss right? Like so. Let's get out of there. Now, we didn't do the astrolabe thingy-mabob, so there is also a mission for that on here, somewhere on this map, so let's try and find that out. That is not a group of enemies that is fun to fight, especially with those ground effects as well. There we go, we can use our life flask. And yeah, I just wanted to sit down and cast right there. As you can see, that's okay. The mana regen that we have is pretty much enough to just power through anything. And that's good news, right? I was worried that it wouldn't work out that nicely, but then again, like POB did tell me, it's gonna be fine with even without max power charges, but it's still always like I need to play and see if it's actually correct, right? Ah, let's put that scarab. There we go. See another strongbox in here. And yeah, my league starting Atlas skill tree is pretty much the same as always. I will show you that when we finish the map, just so if you do want to copy, you can. Right? And yeah, as I said, please don't rush completion that much. It's not worth it. Oh hey, look, league mechanic. Aha, that's what I was worried about. Not examining that. Sweet, okay. There we go. Get a little bit of loot. Cool, another chart. Let's bring the map in. Okay, I was not checking down here. Also, this part of the league mechanic where you get ghosted is really nice. And I did check, there is the action speed shrine. That one will make it so you can't just hold down freezing pulse, because you just gain so much cast speed that it is actually too much for our mana sustain. It's okay, for the most part, right? And with this tree, it would also be worth probably to shop for good altars, now that I'm thinking about it. And yeah, I mean, now I really can just chill out and full clear the maps if I need to, right? Hey, no, I think we did do the... Okay. Let's grab the gold. Not spending any gold so far as well has been quite decent for me, so that can go. That as well. Oh look, crit with cold and increased cold damage, reduce poison duration. Not bad. We'll throw those to the side. I did find a couple of jewels, as you can see. We also found a critical jewel with basics of pain and magnifier on there. That could work, right? It's a 6 passive though. Same goes for the astonishing affliction one here. So that's duration of ailment and effect of non-damaging ailments, which also not that bad, right? The large one is just a lightning one, 11 passives. We can basically delete that. So that's okay. And yeah, we have a little bit left here. I did buy a couple of Greater Eldritch Embers to roll the Frenzy charges right onto here. There we go. And that's pretty much how a tier 16 map works. Act and go, right? Nothing special. This is the Atlas skill tree I'm currently using. As always, on League Start, I go and grab Shaping the Skies, Shaping the Mountains, and Shaping the World, and add in these 4, or I guess 5 points as well, and go from there. I went up here throughout this wheel. I did grab Unwavering Vision, right, in the beginning, to allocate all the Strongbox nodes, or not all of them, but like the important ones for me, which is we have an additional Strongbox. They are at least rare and corrupted. We have a chance to open them again, and then the currency as well as the div cards can be duplicated, right? And then shrines, also very useful, right? Just guarantee a shrine, we get a chance for it to be covetous. Stuff like that. Nothing too fancy over here. A little bit of Nico stuff as well, right? That's okay. Might want to go and do that later on. And then obviously the big ones, right? Conqueror maps, Shaper Elder Guardian maps, Synth maps, and Red Altar stuff for getting double progress. And I will allocate these nodes later on to get the altars earlier, and then maybe we rearrange a couple one in the quantity node or quantity wheel in the middle to also take more nodes regarding the Searing Exarch. But yeah, and as for League Start, just have a 10% chance to randomly get a second boss witnessed can really, really help you. Okay, yeah, that about sums up everything. I definitely need to sit down and revise everything here. Like, this is bad, right? We are barely near 9.5k, not even armor, that is, and that's just not enough, right? As for critical chance, we go offensive. There we go. Yeah, without power charges, 64-ish, and then 75-ish with the Diamond Flask, so we definitely need Assassin's Mark and the Diamond Flask to reach that 100% crit chance, and also remember we get some crit per power charge. Well, we have 4, so that is 40% increased crit as well. And then Disciple of Forbidden, just always having one is good, but also getting a chance to gain a power charge on kill means you really only need Wintertide Brand on bosses to keep the power charge generation up, right? We could also say, hey, we use Wild Cold Snap for just generating frenzy charges, right? And try to get endurance charges on the chest piece, but I will only do that if I replace that 6 link. So yeah, but that sums it up, I would say. It did hold up again, right? I actually really expected this to fall over quite a lot of time because I've played this many times, right? So it's still very weak against physical damage in the beginning, and the only way I was able to fix that last time was with a Aegis Aurora Glancing Blow set up to be fully block capped and just get a lot of armor and have the Aegis do its thing where it just gives you ES on block, right? So I might test something else out with an influenced shield that gives me ES on block, and I might just try to make that work. So yeah, definitely need to sit down and think about this for a good while. But this sums up my League Start for now. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, take care. Bye.